Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know if you realized already, but the holidays are about to be over, and what that also means is that the school year is about to start for some of you. And even though I'm not going to school anymore, I remember I was always so excited for the new school year to start, because for me that meant that I'm gonna go to some random dollar store and I'm gonna buy all the brand new and fresh school supplies. I was always so hyped about choosing all the brand new pencils, markers, erasers, pencil cases, and I think that it stayed with me until now, because whenever I'm passing by some random school supplies in some random store, I'm always getting so hyped and excited and I just want to buy it all. And I'm telling you all this because today I'm gonna try to make art with those school supplies. And just in a moment, I'm gonna go to some random dollar store and I'm gonna pick some inexpensive school supplies and I'm gonna try to create something decent with it. So if you're interested in seeing my version of Back to School Challenge, then make sure you stay with me and keep on watching. Okay, so firstly I needed to buy some school supplies, and to do that I went to my local dollar store. And of course, as a word of explanation, since you know that I'm from Poland, we don't have dollar stores exactly called dollar stores, but we have something similar, so let's call it like this to be simple and easy. So here are all the things that I'm gonna create my today's drawing with: cartridge paper pad, dual tip water-based markers, set of 12 colored pencils, HB pencils, 0.4 fineliners, 0.3 black gel pens, 0.5 HB automatic pencils, and a simple eraser. All these supplies were around $10, and this is only enough for one Copic sketch marker. Okay, so first I needed to test out the supplies that I bought and see how should I work with them and how they're gonna perform on the paper. I started my drawing with obviously doing some construction lines. I used the traditional HB pencil to do this, and the first huge drawback of this pencil was that it was so hard to sharpen it up. It was just falling apart all the time and I almost got discouraged from using it at all. Anyways, this pencil was quite bad overall and it was quite scratchy on the paper, and well, it didn't allow me to make smooth and refined lines at all. Once I got enough of using this traditional pencil that I mentioned, I decided to switch to the automatic one. And well, it was like a heaven-sent miracle, seriously. It was so nice and pleasant to use, and I could easily achieve nice and flowy lines as well as all the little details. And speaking about automatic pencils, as you might know from my previous videos, especially from this top 5 art supplies, I'm a total fan of automatic pencils. Not only they are so precise and handy, but they are also super inexpensive. And the truth is that it really won't change the quality of your sketch and your drawing overall if you're gonna use a $100 automatic pencil versus the one that costs less than $1. So well, that's worth to keep in mind, and also this challenge proves my point. Next, let's speak about the paper I was using. It was also quite a nice surprise for me actually. It was really thick and smooth and I didn't expect that to be this at all. It held the graphite pigment quite well and it wasn't becoming scratchy and messed up after layering and erasing the pencil lines. So even though this paper was really cheap, I think that the quality of it was really good for the price. After I was done with the pencil sketch, I went on and started outlining my drawing. I bought 2 types of fineliners, thicker and thinner one. However, I only used the thinner one since it was a lot more precise. And this thinner fineliner happened to be the gel pen, so it also had its disadvantages. It was skipping quite much, leaving those blank white spots while creating the outline. That was quite annoying, I need to admit, but on the other hand, for some quick doodles, I think these pens might actually work quite good. And even though these gel pens were exactly 0.38 millimeters, they were a little bit too thick for me still. Because my drawings are actually quite small, I used to draw on A5 paper, so those little details like eyes and nose are really tiny, so I usually work with 0.03 millimeter fineliner. After the outline was done, it was the time to layer some color. And well, that was the point that I realized that I didn't have any skin tones both in the markers and in the colored pencils as well. So well, that was quite hard for me to overcome, but I decided that I'm gonna try to shade the face using brown colored pencils. This was the only thing I had, so I hope that it's gonna save my drawing. And well, obviously that wasn't the effect that I would normally go for while coloring the skin, but well, this was the only thing that I could do having these supplies that I had. And while coloring, the problem that I noticed right away was that you can't layer these colored pencils. And well, I didn't expect them to have any extraordinary layering and blending abilities, so I wasn't that shocked anyways. So I just tried to work with these pencils to obtain the skin-like effect. I also tried adding a little bit of light orange marker to enhance the shading, but I really didn't like the effect it gave, so I totally gave up on this idea. And along with brown colored pencil, I tried to use a little bit of yellow and pink to give more of a skin-like color. But like I said, these colored pencils don't layer well, so this idea came out to be a total disaster, so that was another option for saving my drawing, but well, it didn't work out. Then, after I was done with coloring her skin, I proceeded to coloring her hair. And this was also the time that I used the markers. And I was quite surprised that they weren't that bad at all. And of course I couldn't layer them and I wasn't able to obtain smooth layers of color. But for being cheap water-based markers combined with this cheap paper, they performed surprisingly good. So how I worked with them was that I just quickly put a layer of color trying to avoid having a lot of streaks, and then I would try to do some shading with the colored pencils. And well, for what it was and for how cheap those supplies were, I think that they work quite well together. And also with these markers and this paper, I needed to be careful to not mess up the paper structure while using the markers. Because as probably some of you already experienced this, when you put too much of layers of just normal water-based marker on paper, it tends to scratch the paper really much and you can actually make a hole into the paper. So this was my main priority, to avoid that at all costs, and well, I succeeded in avoiding this. And lastly, just a quick word about the eraser. It was just basic eraser, so I didn't expect anything spectacular, it was just working fine. And now to sum everything up, there were moments that I was really frustrated while drawing because I felt really limited by having supplies that are not fulfilling my needs. I wanted to layer some marker color for a better shading effect, but I simply couldn't. I also wanted to make the skin more skin-like, but I basically didn't have any skin tone shade, so that was really quite discouraging. But on the other hand, this challenge shows that there are some inexpensive supplies that could be used on a daily basis, and you could actually save some of your coins by choosing them instead of more expensive options. And also, I really do think that if you just want to practice or if you're new to art, these kind of supplies are going to be enough for you. You don't really need anything fancy to do some live drawing studies or just randomly doodle from time to time. So, in my opinion, it works like this. You can have really little skills and you can be really bad at drawing, but you want to buy really expensive art supplies. And well, you can't expect that those expensive supplies are gonna improve your art immediately. The only thing that can affect your art and improve your art is the hours and hours of work you put into the practice. So, well, that practice can be done with cheap art supplies. You can have really cheap pencils and you can still sketch every day, and that will eventually help you to improve your drawing skills. You can have really cheap fineliner and still practice your lines, practice your outlining skills, and that at the end of the day will make your outlining skills way better. So you get what I'm saying? You don't really need expensive art supplies to be getting better and to improve. So once again, to sum everything up, I think that cheap school supplies are great to practice drawing with, sketch around and study some certain not demanding topics. However, if you are a professional artist, you would probably want to broaden your art supplies collection and use something that will allow your skills to show at the fullest. And here you can finally see a close-up and a picture of the finished drawing, and let me know guys, how do you like this one, considering of course that I was using cheap school supplies. Alright, so that's all for today's challenge video, and well, I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the hardest challenges that I did, but I'm glad that I managed to go through all this and still create something, let's say, decent. And let me know guys, what do you think about my drawing? Did I succeed in this challenge, or should I try a little bit harder? Let me know in the comments. So that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please hit that subscribe button because I see that a lot of you that are watching my videos are not subscribed to my channel. And believe it or not, but this one subscription that you can press is really much, and that's a huge help for my channel. So please make sure you subscribe. And besides this, you can also follow me on my Instagram account where I post a lot of behind the scenes and work in progress pictures. So yeah, make sure you go follow me there as well. And once more, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Bye!
I'm just going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now.